Today on Growing Idaho, we're talking about growing Oregon and what some are calling a radical new idea there that's not new or necessarily radical, but could be the key to helping a lot more people afford a home. You may have seen this story on NBC Nightly News recently.
The minute I walked in, I was like, this is it. This is the one. These kinds of buildings being put in place, it just opens up so much opportunity for people like myself.
The piece focused on how Portland, Oregon is trying to solve the housing crisis with middle housing. That refers to townhomes, duplexes, and triplexes. In 2020, the city approved building them on lots zoned for single-family homes. This infill project is making middle housing one of the most popular types of new construction there in Portland, with 1,400 middle housing units built in just the past few years. The key is that each one is about $300,000 less expensive than your average single-family home. Oregon's Governor Tina Kotek wants to expand this idea all across the state. It could potentially help folks here in the Treasure Valley in eastern Oregon afford a home. She's spearheading a new bill this legislative session.
What my bill does, it says, please build different types of options. So if you are retiring in a community that you've lived in all along and had this really big house, you can maybe find a different place to live in your community. If you're buying your first home, these are much more affordable new homes.
If all this sounds familiar to you, it should. The main goal of Portland's plan is the same as Boise's relatively new zoning code rewrite.
So there are some definite similarities between what was done in Portland and what we have done here in Boise related to our zoning code, which is really just trying to allow more housing in more places, and particularly in the places that make sense.
But Boise's housing policy director, Nikki Olivier Hellenkamp, also points out some differences. Portland's project allows duplexes to be built on single-family lots, but that's something that's always been allowed in Boise. Also, the new code in the City of Trees only allows additional homes to be built in single-family neighborhoods if the development is affordable and sustainable. Again, Portland is already seeing results. Is Boise?
It's too early.
Portland city leaders made their big change back in 2020. Boise rewrote its zoning code just a year and a half ago, so Hellenkamp is hoping to see similar progress in a couple years. But she notes that Portland was also riding a hot market at the time. That's just one thing that Boise does not have control of.
The zoning code certainly has an impact on what can be built, absolutely, but there are a lot of other factors at play, right? So when interest rates are good, when labor is at a cost, construction costs are in a place where it makes financial sense to build, you'll see more building. But at times when costs are high or unpredictable, or when the cost of capital is high, then it's going to be more challenging to build. Even when you have a zoning code that says you're allowed to do this here, you still have to figure out how to make it financially work. So all of the pieces of the puzzle really have to come together.
Now, again, Oregon's governor is trying to take the Portland plan statewide. Meanwhile, the state of Montana is also trying to help with its local zoning codes. And there's a temporary committee in the Idaho legislature meeting tomorrow focused on land use and housing. So we'll see if the state of Idaho dips a toe in local zoning as well. Coming up.